good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I hope you're well. This is the goodbye video and a little bit of advice, some specific to AP tests, some specific to the future. And I wanted to just start off by saying that all three classes did a really good job with distance learning. I'm really proud of you guys. I was a little worried going in what the participation and what the quality of the work would be like, and you guys have really impressed. I'm going to just go by class here a little bit. So for digital electronics, first block, you guys, I know that it was tough doing those projects, but particularly the now serving project and the 60-second timer with those new ideas being in play without having someone that you could turn to and be like, take a look at my screen, what's going on, and asking lots and lots of questions. Some of you asked lots of questions via email, and that was awesome, but obviously that's not the same thing as being in person for troubleshooting and figuring out what's going on. So good job dealing with those big projects. Well done, well done. For second block, for AP Physics 2, you guys have worked hard all year, first and second semester. And I know that initially there was a lot of free response multiple choice practice to get you guys through that part that College Board said would still be on the test. And you guys were able to do that. That was awesome. That should really pay off, I hope, on the AP2 test scores. So good job making it through all of those free response questions. It was very impressive that you guys did that and scored your work, and in some cases with the multiple choice explained your thought process and all that. That was well done. Well, and the mistakes, fixing the mistakes in some of those multiple choice questions. Hopefully that will pay off for you guys on the AP test. But you guys worked really hard, and I was really impressed with that. For third block, for physics, you guys dealing with the conservation momentum and conservation of mechanical energy problems via my video lessons and helping each other out. Well done working through that. And for physics and AP Physics, you guys dealing with the thermal packets, trying your best to understand what was going on there, and then demonstrating that learning. Well done making it through those thermal packets and learning some stuff from them. That is very, very good. To all of the classes, I just want to say again that I'm extremely impressed. You guys have thrived in this distance learning environment. It's not the same thing as being in the classroom, I know that, but you guys have demonstrated that you've continued to learn and in many cases gone above and beyond. It was, for some of you guys, for the at-home experiment, some of the stuff you guys did with that was just entertaining and very well put together, even though it didn't have to be a big production kind of thing. In particular, Can Crusher, I got a kick out of seeing you guys that have not done Can Crusher before. Some of you got scared. Some of you got very excited when it worked finally. That is just great to see you guys doing some science at home with this distance learning. So very, very well done. And this, I should mention that this is the congratulations and the goodbye for the seniors. Sophomores, juniors, we will continue. But seniors and everybody, good luck next year, wherever you are headed. Okay, so if you're coming back to high school next year, sophomores and juniors, hopefully I'll get to see you at some point in the hallways. And good luck with your classes next year. For seniors that are headed off to college, good luck in college. Trade school, good luck there. If you're going to be starting a career or taking a gap year or whatever it might be, I hope you have a good time and are successful in whatever you choose to do. So good luck with all of that. You guys, like I said again, you guys have done a great job. I think you'll all be very successful in the future in whatever you decide to do. Let's see here. Oh, finish strong. Not just in my class. You guys are finishing strong in my class, but finish strong in all of your classes. I know that the motivation factor this time of year can be a little bit tougher. But you're not quite done yet. You're almost there, unless you're watching this way later, and then maybe you are done if you're a senior. But finish strong. It does say something about your character, and I think is somewhat shows how successful you'll be when there aren't as many external pressures to like work really hard kind of thing. This distance learning, I think, has shown that you guys are up to that challenge. So go ahead and finish strong in all of your classes, not just in my classes or not just in your AP classes or the classes you like or whatever, but finish strong in all of those classes. And I hope you take something forward from this whole distance learning experience, some skills or some perseverance or whatever it might be. I hope you take something away from this experience and can use what you've learned here in the future to help you out as well. On that note, please don't forget to turn in your video project. So for seniors, that's due the last day, Wednesday. Sophomores, juniors, this is for all the classes. Sophomores, juniors, that's tentatively right now due on your last day. So seniors, it's coming up this Wednesday. Sophomores, juniors, it's still a little bit down the road, not too far though. Okay, that would be next week. Okay. If you have books, supplies, breadboard companions, wires, whatever you have, AP review books, whatever it has that you have checked out from me, follow school directions. But if you could also put Mr. Willard and A227 on the item that you're returning, they're going to be getting a lot of stuff back in. I'm just trying to make sure that it ends up in my classroom so that it can be useful for students in the future. I would greatly appreciate that. So if you guys could put Mr. Willard and A227 on the item, you can even just write it on there with a Sharpie or a marker or a pen, somewhere nice and visible, so that when people are sorting this stuff, it makes its way to my classroom. If you're putting it in a bag, it'd be nice if it could also be on the out on the outside of the bag. This is especially true for digital electronics, but follow the school guidelines for when you're turning in your stuff, or whoever's turning in your stuff whenever that happens. But I would love for that stuff to make it back to me. So please put Mr. Willard A227 so it's not somewhere else in the building for a couple years, and then 5 years down the road I'm like, oh, this is where the AP review book ended up. So if you have any questions about anything, just send me an email anytime. I will still be checking my email regularly during the week. So just shoot me an email and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. A reminder here on grades, there is no difference from 100% A to an 89.5% A. So if you get the letter grade you were looking for, don't worry about the minus or the plus or the actual percentage. All that matters for your transcript, so for colleges, for your transcript, for your GPA, for your class rank, the only thing that matters is your letter grade, your overall letter grade, not where the percentage falls or the plus or the minus. Those pluses and minuses are meaningless. So that being said, if you are at the letter grade, if you have an A, the letter grade you're probably looking for, I'm not going to worry about putting in a bunch of old bonus. I do have the bonus, however. So I had pictures of the board before I left from spring break, just in case. I brought home the clipboards before spring break just in case with the bonus on them. And of course I have my electronic bonus. So if you're not at that A level, or if you're close to another grade, you're sitting at like a 78, 77%, and you're not quite to that B yet, or whatever the grade may be, if you're near one, I will go through and put in all of your bonus to see if it bumps you up, okay? Because for a couple people, it might still matter. But I'm expecting, with as well as you guys have been doing, as long as everybody turns in video projects that are decent, I'm expecting just a slew of A's. You guys have just knocked it out of the park on the vast majority of this work. So again, great job on that. So now some specific college advice. This is especially true for people going to the math and sciences, where where I've talked to and was in the field. There, and in particular in engineering, there could be, if you're going to a big time university with a rigorous program, there could be a culture where people will say, hey, I didn't study at all for that test, and they got an A. And if this is in their major and this is a tough class, they're lying. Unless they've done the material before. So if you can imagine having AP Physics and AP Calc before you go off to college and you took the Intro Physics and Intro Calc courses, oh, then maybe you'll breeze through that. Maybe not, but maybe you'll breeze through that and not have to do a whole lot of work and still get an A in the class. But most people that are saying that are just flat out lying. Okay, everybody's working hard in an engineering major very soon. It starts off very quickly in those courses that are four-year major. So don't get caught into that trap where you're like, well, why is nobody else working as hard as I am? They're working hard. They're just either not realizing how hard they're working, or they're just flat out lying, or they've had the material before. That's another possibility. All right, let me take a look at my notes over here. Try to keep the, this is again especially true for engineering majors, but try to keep, or math majors, physics majors, try to keep the socializing to the weekends, Friday, Saturday night kind of stuff. Hang out with other engineers as well, so that you can see what their work schedule is like in terms of how much time they're putting in. But again, just try to keep the socializing to Friday and Saturday night, and you'll be fine. Thank you guys for being understanding in this time of distance learning. Like I said, you guys have thrived. I know it was not easy You know, the length of a couple of the videos, the amount of directions on some of the stuff. It's just not the same as being in person. But again, you guys have done a really great job. I'm really proud of you guys for stepping up. And thank you also for being understanding of the occasional, there's been at least, I think, 4 or 5 times I've received an email from a student saying, hey, I did this thing, here it is, blah, blah, blah. And I had to get to the bottom of it, you know, put it in the wrong folder or whatever, or maybe the attachment wasn't there, or I couldn't read it or something, and you guys fixed it up and sent it back to me, or I went in and found the email and then changed it. So thank you for the few times, those of you that had that happen. I tried to fix it as quickly as possible. In terms of grades, I tried to put grades in rather quickly until right here at the end, where I'm letting a few of them stack up to put in at the end of the semester, so that you guys could get the feedback, and then you would, you know, send the stuff out. So thank you for being understanding with all of those things that are different from our normal environment. All right, so now I have some advice specific to AP test takers for anybody that's taking an AP test. So if you're taking, maybe one of your classes has not just an AP test, maybe one of your classes for the school has some sort of a traditional final that you're taking online. In those high stakes testing environments, I encourage you to do a little bit of exercise, just a little bit of exercise before you take the test. In past years, not this year, but in past years for the AP test, I would say someone video everybody doing jumping jacks before the test, and I'll give everybody that's in the video a bunch of bonus. It is good to get your heart rate up a little bit. Now, don't go run a marathon or anything, or play some intense game of basketball for an hour right before you take the test and get all sweaty and tired. But do some jumping jacks, run around in some circles for a little while, get the heart rate up, and it very well could help you do a little bit better on the AP or a standardized test or a big test of some nature. With regards to the AP physics tests, in normal years, I would tell students it is normal to feel awful after taking the test. You take a 3-hour test, you're going to feel awful when you're only getting like half or less than half the points accumulated on those tests. That's going to feel bad. That's not the normal. This year, I'm not sure how you guys will feel. I'm assuming some of you will still feel bad. You're like, oh man, that second question, or oh man, part C of that first question really threw me for a loop, and you'll think it's awful. Probably it's not, okay? I still expect most of, if not all of you guys to get 3s, 4s, and 5s if you've prepped for these tests. So go in with some confidence. You've done all this hard work. You're going to be all right, okay? With that in mind, I should mention AP2, make sure you look at the other information that I have linked to today. There's some additional stuff that you're going to have to do before the AP2 test, so some leftovers. Oh yeah, and remember for those AP 1, 2 tests, that AP Physics 1 and 2 tests, that if you get like half the points, I mean, you're doing amazing. Also, if you're ever thrown for a loop, we had a couple of them where like question 1A, you're like, I don't know what molar mass is or whatever. You're like, I don't ever remember doing that. And you'd be right. We never really did molar mass, and that happened one year. Just make something up for part A and go on to part B and do your best with part B. You don't have to get every part of every question, obviously, to get a 4 or 5 on these tests. That being said, the AP1 test, traditionally, it's like 1 or 2% of people get like a 5 on the AP1 test. For whatever reason, it is incredibly difficult to get a 5 on the AP1 test. But I expect us to have some 5s this year for sure. When you include AP1, AP2, Physics C Newtonian, Physics C E&M, there's going to be some 5s. I have no doubt, even in this different format with the 2 free response questions. So just go in with some confidence. You guys will do all right. But if you get a 3 or a 4 on that AP1 test, you did a good job. You get a 3, 4, or 5 on any of the tests, you did a good job. The C test, you should be really shooting for a 4 or 5 because, believe it or not, statistically, it's a little bit easier than the AP1 and the AP2 test. But I consider success on any of these tests to be a 3, 4, or 5. So good luck with those tests this week. All right, guys, I wish you the best next year with whatever you're doing. Good luck with your test this week. Good luck with your video project, final video project, if you haven't turned that in yet. Good luck in your other courses. Finish strong. Really proud of you guys. It's been a pleasure. You've made this, the distance learning experience, go as smoothly as I think as it could. You guys have really stepped up, helped each other out, emailed questions, checked your grades, taken care of business when you need to. So well done on all fronts there. Good luck in the future, guys.